Alright, so I'm going to create a new document here, and I'm by no means an expert. So there's probably better practices to use, but for the purposes of our geometry class, we're trying to make some sort of shape in from our paper, pen and pencil drawing, and we're trying to make it a reality on this digital 3D design CAD. So how we do that is you're going to want to start with this sketch, and this is going to make a sketch for your two-dimensional drawing, which will then give some thickness to make it three-dimensional. So I'm going to start with a sketch, and now it's saying select a plane to draw on. I'm going to just sketch on the front plane, but you see I'm kind of looking at it from a slightly weird angle. So to look at it straight on, I'm going to click on front here. You can navigate by click and holding your right mouse. Right click, you can move your orientation view around. You can also use your arrow keys to help move around. But if you want to recenter, you can click on this navigation tool. Alright, so what I'm going to make in this video is a little hook for holding a sprayer, and it's going to mount onto something in my car. So it's going to be a pretty simple object. I'm going to start with some rectangles and just to create this shape. There's a few different types of rectangles here. I'm just going to use this corner to corner rectangle, and I'm going to fix it onto the x-axis here. You can see the dotted line. That means it's saying, okay, I'm going to anchor that to the x-axis. Now just make it whatever size you'd like and change the dimensions by using this dimension tool. Okay, so I'm just going to start with a rough sketch. I'm going to freehand basically this shape using rectangles and some other things, and then we'll come back in later and I will add the dimensions that I need. Okay, so I'm going to draw this, I'm going to draw this, and then I'm going to take this up to here and connect it there like that. Okay, I've got this shape. I also want so I'm also just using lines. Okay, now for giving it dimensions. The first thing you can do is you can trim some values if you don't need them, like this line. I won't actually, well actually I do want to keep it for now, but I might trim it later. I actually don't think it matters if I have it now. And also this line I don't think I need, and this line I don't think I need right now. That's this trim tool. Can be nice to clean up your drawing. Now dimensions. Okay, so this is where having the pencil version is really helpful if you've already got your dimensions sorted out. For example, I know that this is supposed to be 32. Okay, already scaling my drawing down to size. I know the whole thing is supposed to be 50, but I have to take this piece by piece. So this bit here is actually just the thickness of the top, and I want that to be 5. And I need the rest of this to give a full height of 13. So 5 has already been accounted for, so 8 more millimeters there. Let's see, if things are getting messy, you can always move these measurements around by just clicking and dragging. Alright, some other things to measure. That's already set to 5 because that was from the original rectangle. Let's see, this here, what did I say? 10, was it? Looks like I had said 10. This bit I had written down I wanted to be 5. And this space here I want to be 17. Let's see if it lets me do that. Yes, and that should fix this to be 5. Okay. You'll see everything kind of adjusts as you lock in dimensions. If you start getting red stuff, that means that you have contradicting measurements. So you've done something wrong math-wise. Okay, this is basically the side view of my hanger. So I'm going to go ahead and say this sketch is done. And right now it's flat. Okay, it's just a 2D drawing, and I want to give it some height. So extrude is the tool I'm going to use, and I'm going to select sketch 1 to extrude. So now that's what it's extruding, and I want this thing to be, let's see, my measurement, I wanted it 45 millimeters. So now we've got a little shelf basically, and I'm going to do a couple of things to make this shelf a little more dynamic. I'm going to cut away a circle here, and I'm going to cut away a semicircle here, so that I've got a nice little shelf to hang this sprayer on. So let me go ahead and change the viewing angle, and we're going to just view the bottom for a minute, and I'm going to make a new sketch. And this is going to be how I'm going to cut away a portion of this. So I'm actually going to start with some lines. Okay, I'm making some lines. Okay, and I'm just going to sort of sketch this rectangle here. Actually, I don't want that line there. I want to make sure that I have a rectangle, so I'm going to undo those last two moves. Before I draw those, I'm going to set my dimensions here. It's important that as you draw this, there's times when you can freehand your sketches, and other times when you want them to fix to other objects. So you're going to want to make sure that you take care as you're doing them. Okay, so I want this to be was 22, was it? So I'm just going to say 11 on this side and 11 on this side. Let's do that for now. Now I'm going to grab my rectangle, and I need it to fix to that. And sometimes you can hover over other points. You see how I locked it on? It was kind of nice. And I can grab my dimension tool. I'll make that 22. Okay, and now I'm going to do some circles here. Okay, some circles to make this a rounded edge. So what would be nice is if I found the center of this rectangle. To do that, there's probably a fancier way to do it automatically in OnShape, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the diagonals of this rectangle to find the center. So I'm going to use that to find the center of my circle, and I'm going to trim a bunch of stuff. So I don't want all of this, so I'm just going to trim that away and trim that away and trim a bunch of stuff inside. And it's going to not like me for a minute. Okay, there we go. Okay, now it's saying I've got an issue here. I'm going to delete these so that it's happy with me. In that case, it was trying to fix my circle to a dimension that I had already set, and they were contradicting slightly. And I'm not too worried about that being perfect, because I think it's fine. It just was having issues. Yeah, see, that's still 11. So we're all good. Just having trouble with how the circle was rendered. Now I'm going to cut away this material, this sketch. So going back to extrude, this time I'm extruding sketch 2, but instead of adding material, I'm removing material. So I'm selecting remove, and I need to just make sure that I'm removing, I think that was only 10 millimeters thick, so I really only need to remove 10 millimeters. Oh, I see, I did this slightly different than last time. Oh, that's okay. Actually, I'm going to remove the full, I'm going to remove a bit more. I'm going to remove the full 45. And that's just because my design was slightly different than last time. That's okay. That's fine. It's a little skinny here, but that's okay. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drill out a semicircle here so that it has a nice little shelf to sit in, basically. So here's my sketch 3. I'm going to start with a line segment, and then I actually want another line segment just to connect this, and then I want a half circle. So I'm going to do this circle here. I'm going to give it 3 points, and then go like that. Again, there probably was a better way to do this. But you just do what you can, and sometimes there are better ways to construct your drawings. Yeah, I actually don't want to use this type of circle. I actually want to go back. What was a 3-point arc? Yeah, that's what I want. 3-point arc. That's going to be better. Okay, I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do that. There we go. That's what I wanted. And sometimes you kind of just got to play around with it and see what works. That's what I want to cut away. Okay, so one more extrusion. We're going to remove material. I'm going to do that full 45 to just cut away. Now I have this nice little shelf in 2 directions for this spray bottle to just set on. Okay, now there's some stylistic things you can do to sort of pretty up your 3-dimensional object. The first one is fillet, and you just click on an edge and it'll cut away at a circle. It's doing it at a circle with a radius of whatever this number is. Right now it's taking away 5 millimeters. I might set this to 10 just because I have enough space and it makes it kind of a nice smooth curve there. I don't know if 10 will work here because now it's cut away. You can see it's actually cut away. It doesn't look too bad, but I've actually cut away some of my height. I'm going to leave it for now. That's probably all I'll do with that. Let's see what it looks like on this bottom part. Oh, see, now 10 would be too much because then it would just be taking away too much material right there. So sometimes playing around with this can be fun to make your objects really clean and neat. I'm going to do this on all that edge there. And this does the same thing, except it's not a rounded edge. It's just like cutting off a triangular edge. And that's pretty nice. Maybe I'll take that edge off too. Let's sort of square it off. Let's see what that looks like. Oh yeah, that's nice. Okay, we'll call that good. And so for this bracket, I would say is basically done. It's just going to hang onto part of the car right by the cup holders, and then I'll be able to hang that spray bottle right on the side after I print this thing. There you go. Hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully it showed you some tools and tricks. Another cool thing you can do if you just want to see what your object looks like is you can press P on your keyboard and it'll hide all the planes so you get a better viewing angle.